Hey, it's Edge here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for Bitcoin with Elliott Wave Theory. Let's jump into the charts right away. Starting here on 4 hour time frame, and we had a few different ideas for the structures since the June lows that we had. For that one, again, we had a few ideas, some of them ending at these lows, and then we could be creating something new in the form of a corrective structure here. But for that, again, we would have something like this, where we had this as an ABC into an A, ABC into B, and then we would be looking for C wave. At the moment, this does look a bit corrective, this start, but that does not mean we can't dream of that C wave. We can still create a leading diagonal in here with the structures that we are talking about later on this structure here. The other options was that instead of A being at these highs, we would have it here, where we would have this as an A, expanded B for that wave B, and then 5 waves into that C wave. That is the only structure that actually fits the 5-way structure that we actually have here, or at least it looks like it. And then we would be looking for a 3-way structure here. Now we have the invalidations pretty close at the 1.618 retracement, here around 14.9k. Which makes this a bit less likely in that scenario. We would want wave B to go higher on this scenario because, again, if we are comparing this and looking at the minimum extension, this is basically where our maximum extension is right now. So around 15k is the minimum we want to see this local structure here to go to before it actually gets invalidated here. Again, invalidation just because, again, we can't go below the 1.618 retracement of this A wave here, and that is just due to the right look. We had, of course, possibilities where a higher time frame structure would not end at these lows, but instead continue downwards, where we would have this as a 3-way structure into an X, 3-way structure here into the wave Z already complete, and then having some kind of format from here. Of course, it could be corrective or impulsive or motive, but we don't know about that yet. Completely up to this guy over here. Then for the more impulsive counts to the downside, where we have the potential wave 4 here, non-extended wave 3s here, so we could expect an extension on the 5th. So in this scenario, this fits pretty well, where we had this is a 1 2 1 2. We can't have a diagonal due to the structures inside here. These would be categorized as flats, so that does not work. Of course, depends on whether you allow flats or not in these structures. So, and yeah, probably you would need otherwise a pretty creative way of labeling them if you don't allow them in, or even if you do allow them in your diagonals. But yeah, a lot of different possibilities on higher time frame. Exact reason why I don't trade them. Another possibility is that we could end the 5th wave down here. I don't think this is the likeliest count because, again, the structures are very small. So just wanted to show you that still. On the smaller time frame, we had a lot of different options as well. At the moment, the ones that we've been tracking, this got invalidated, where we had this as a 3-way structure into W, 3 ways into X, and then looking for this to be a start of something as a 5-way structure. That is the only invalidation we've had. So we can basically just take this off the charts and look at the ones that we still got left, where we had this as an WXY, having this as an ABC, fits pretty decent there. And I feel like this is the primary that we had here ending at these tops. The other one that we were looking at was this, where we had this as a 5-way structure into A, 3-way pullback into B, and 1 2 3 4 5 into C. This looks decent here, this last leg, but the issue that I have here is the length of this wave B. Again, if we are looking at it, we can compare it to this previous wave A, and we are not even close to the 38.2, which generally should be hit in any kind of 3-way structure. Okay, again, that is not a rule, but it's just a guideline that I have for any kind of right look. This looks very short, but again, it's not invalid. So that's that. Now we have 2 different accounts that have basically the same structure here. So it does not really matter which we are going to be using in the next videos. Again, I'm probably just going to delete one of these, so we don't need to be tracking them both. Then again, as we ended a count here, we are starting something new to the downside. And again, I don't think this is, of course, it could be a continuation of a higher structure, but a new structure on lower degree. That's what I meant. So the first idea that I had was that we had this kind of structure where we had this as an A, B, and then C. While this is still somewhat possible, and we would have to have this as a 1, 2, 1, 2 structure in here, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and 5, creating some kind of weird structure. We do have that divergences here, so this would be the third of third, maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, as mentioned. And that's the only way I could be labeling this, with the idea of having this as a contracting leading diagonal in here for the wave A. Just due to how much this has consolidated sideways, it is losing the look of having a 5-way structure, which would be something like this, where we would have this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, and 5. I think this is pretty much the last possibility where we could have a fifth wave taking out these current lows that we have here. The issue with this one is, again, that we have come down in 3-wave fashion. This definitely looks more like 3 ways than anything else. Of course, could you say it's a 5-way structure? Sure, of course you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But then again, this would be something else. You can't really call that. But yeah, to me this looks way better as a 3-way structure than anything else. Then either we have created already that 3-way structure, or we are creating that, of course, in relation at these highs. And how we turn it into a 5th wave is just by creating it into some kind of diagonal here. Again, contracting diagonals are more common, so either from here, these highs, which is again making it less likely since this is already getting this kind of reaction with this trend line. So potentially, if we are still wanting to create that diagonal, I would look for this to be something like that instead, and then we would be creating this as 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. And that should be taking out this low here of that third, and that again fits into the higher time frame quite well, depending of course on your view. I don't really care about the higher time frame at the moment. I'm just trading all these smaller steps here, and once I see a possibility of going long for longer time, then of course I'll let you know. But yeah, this don't still seem to be like it is finished. It can be if we are creating this into a first structure of a diagonal, where this again, let's do that again. So this would be the wave 1 of a diagonal. Then we would have, oops, that's not right. Where this would be a 2nd wave structure. Whether this is a 5-way structure, 5-way structure coming down now, and then 3-way pullback and another 5. We don't know of that yet. But again, that is something that can fit into multiple ideas. Either this coming down as a wave 1, this being 2, and another 1, 2 set up here, before the thirds come down and crash all of Bitcoin and all the crypto, or this would be creating that 5th wave and 5-way structure into an A wave, B wave, and then C wave. Without taking out these lows, we could be again having that as an 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, creating that diagonal here. But again, that is very much of a speculation at this point, because again, we have no real proof of that. So why would we worry about that? I'm not quite sure. Again, I'm not never ever going to be married to counts. I've seen a lot of people commenting that why don't I just show one count or anything like that, but I'm not just, I don't really care about the counts. I just want to be taking probable trades and making money off of that. I don't care if my count would be right or not. I'm just looking for trade setups. If we get one more low here, we're most likely getting divergence here. I'm going to go long. Whether it's going to be a structure like this, I don't think so, but I do think that this is more likely. Then we would be looking for resistance at around here, 17.5k, and at these smaller consolidations just beyond it. And of course, depending on where this lands, we can be looking at fib targets or fib retracements as some kind of confluence, and the dailies and weekly targets here as well. Downwards, if we are taking out these lows, there's not really anything real close to it. So this is some order blocks, or these both are something that I would be eyeing on. 16.5k and 16.2k, give or take a few tenths in there. But this structure here had a pretty decent reaction when it got back into this previous order block here. So there definitely can be more demand in here left to have more push. But we'll see. Of course, we don't know about anything. So either you are basing your trades here and expecting that reaction, or it just dumps down into the next level here, you take another trade, or you just wait for a reaction and then pull back. And if that looks like it is 5 ways or 3 ways, that is not long enough to correct this one, then you can be taking another trade against possibly this low or the 1.618 extension of this, either creating a potential flat even here. But yeah, of course, those are just some trade ideas you might want to be thinking about if that again happens. If you just do this, then I might be stopped out at my short trades. I'm on ETH and Bitcoin at the moment. Bitcoin I caught up in here. On ETH I'm somewhere on the lower ones here. Just small scalps, expecting that last leg down. But I think that is going to do it for this Bitcoin video. If you again got something out of it, let me know in the comments or give me a like on the video. But again, thanks for watching and see you on the next video. Bye bye.